What is going on, everybody? It's your friend, your neighbor, your partner, maybe your lover. My name is Zanezy, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. So today, guys, it's a very different video. It's probably going to be one of my shorter videos because, honestly, I don't really feel like editing one of my standard videos right now. But today, guys, is actually going to be my take and my review on Rust. And so first, there's a few disclaimers, and it's gonna be, I'm not really talking about the one like Gamecom or whatever, that review. This is like personally my opinion on Rust, how I feel about the game, and what I would change if there was anything I want to change. So at first, I just want to state I love this game. Rust is definitely probably the best survival game I have ever played, and honestly, in my opinion, is probably the best survival game ever made, because the physics and just everything of Rust is really straight, clean, cut to the point. The building is so easy. The mechanics of the game are very easy to understand, and the developers, like Face Punch themselves, are also like just a phenomenal dev team compared to other companies. And you know, there's just a couple of things that does kind of suck about Rust, and that is which I'm sure anyone who's ever played or watched Rust honestly knows, and that's the hacker epidemic and the community. So I'm going to actually dive into the community first before the hacker epidemic, because that's more aware than I think honestly the community is. So what I can't really stand is this overwhelming fact of how people are like super toxic. Now don't get me wrong, everyone's toxic no matter what. Like, but there's this varying degree of toxicity that I don't really agree with, that I feel like should get some sort of punishment or enforcement on, because you know, like, I don't care if you're running around screaming "re," you're like, "Oh, fuck you," or you're super happy that you got a kill or you did a raid. Like, that's completely understandable. But like this like overwhelming fact that like there are people who quite literally just hide behind their screen, say horrible racist remarks, you know, act like they're Nazis, and like certain things like that, how they sit there and they think it's completely okay. To me, I don't like, because at the end of the day, I know these people would not do it in real life. Like, they would never have the balls to do this in real life. They would never have the courage to do this. So that is one thing that I definitely am displeased with on the game. But you know, there are simple workarounds for like certain things, like, you know, like you can turn your voice chat off, you can turn your chat off, and then you can just ignore it. But a whole part of the game, in my opinion, is you want to interact with people. Like, you know, like I was watching a Max Mears video, and he was recalling about how Legacy, it was a survival game first and then a PvP game. Well, now it's a PvP game then a survival game. So I mean, that kind of sucks, but you know, that is what it is. Still a good game. But the hacker epidemic, now I don't know if maybe Face Punch simply can't do anything right now, or if they're just, what they use to ban hackers doesn't work. But you know, like, I've played on official servers, I've tried to record videos on it, but you know, the hackers honestly ruin it, because like the minute you start to raid, or the minute you start to go somewhere good, you're almost always going to encounter a hacker, and it sucks because the chat will blow up with wanting to ban him and wanting to get rid of them, and it takes forever to ban them, and then they just buy an alt account and then they're back at it again, or they use an alt account and then get on their main. So you know, that's definitely something that should be changed, because this is the first game compared to his Arc where official is bearable. You can play official and still have a good time, whereas with Arc, you play official, you might as well not have a job or a social life. A couple things I would definitely want to say and add into this game is there needs to be some form of single player. See, I know Rust has been out for a couple of years, and if you invest into the game, your time, you'll eventually catch on to things, or hopefully you'll have someone teach you the things and hopefully show you the strings of the game. But see, for me, as I said previously, it's a PvP game. People are going to constantly try and kill you. People are constantly going to try and sit there and just call you a crazy amount of names. But, you know, in my opinion, even if it's not like it doesn't need to be like, in my opinion, a story mode, but just a sandbox single player where it walks you through the tutorial, and then people can experiment and try and see like what stuff is like, try and build different things, try and just be themselves in a single player world without having to deal with, you know, getting your base raided or going offline and worrying about it decaying or something like that. So I definitely think a single player should definitely be added sometime in the future. And another thing I would definitely want to add is a more definitely a different boundary to how essentially the classes are in Rust, because you know, you have the people who literally their whole life are always going to have the work like the tier 1 workbench, that's it, compared to certain solo duos and smaller squads that have tier 2, certain solos that might get to tier 2, and then Zergs are just better groups that get to tier 3. And there was a Sir Winter video that there was this project going on with how there's supposed to be 3 different servers for each tier. So like the first island essentially was for tier 1 only, and then the second island is for tier 2 only, and then like tier 1 under it, and then the third island is the end island, which I definitely like that idea. I definitely think that idea should probably be worked on more. But overall this game is really just very interesting because it grows. Like, you can watch this community, even for this game being, I think, 3 to 4 years old now, just growing still, being one of the more played games on Steam, and the YouTube scene constantly growing on it. Like, I'm part of it. Like, how you have so many great YouTubers and streamers come from this game, and the viewer, like, also another thing is the viewers from this game are so loyal. There are people like Waylon, H. June, HC4B, like those 3 in particular, PvP gods, and surpass their sub count in views. Like, their videos are exploding with views, and that's honestly such an awesome thing. But like, I know for certain people, they want to get this game. I have a few friends who've gotten this game before like a lot of the main updates, and they always ask me, should I get the game again? So like, this is kind of like a placeholder video. So hopefully, if I ever do get bigger during YouTube, and if I ever do get a bigger audience, hopefully people can find this video and they can see how I feel about it. Now, mind you, at this time of recording, I have around 400 hours. Now, that compared to some people on Rust is nothing. Literally, that's just a drop in the bucket for them. And I also acknowledge that, because I also acknowledge the fact that I haven't done everything in Rust that I want to do yet. But I have done a majority of things. I've gone from tier 1 to tier 3 in a wipe. I've gone to tier 1 to tier 3 solo. I've done rocket raids. I've used C4. I've done pretty much every form of raiding. The only things I honestly need to do is take Bradley and, I guess run in a 30-man Zerg and just scream re all the time. But instead I just scream re to my friends. So I mean, all in all, I would probably rate this game an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10, because the community does put a damper on it. But the main thing is the hackers. If Rust were to get rid of the hackers, this game would be the most perfect game, because it would literally just be a game of survival of the fittest. Just the people who are good enough are going to play and are going to succeed, and the people who are not good enough are either going to get beyond the learning curve and be good, or they're going to quit. And I know it sounds counterproductive, because I just said, like, the community's growing, community's passionate, but you know what, like, dude, I have seen people, including myself, who are not good at PvP come back and just want to keep trying. So I don't really know what I'm putting in the background just yet. It's probably like a raid or something, but I muted the sound because I obviously wanted to make it where you can only hear what I'm talking about now. But I just want to say thank you to everybody, whether you're subbed or you're not subbed, who have watched any and all of my videos. And if you're watching this video currently, thank you so much. I highly appreciate it. I don't know when I'll have another upload out because personally I have so much footage to go through and edit, and I'm really just lazy at the moment. But I mean, Sunday maybe I'll edit something and put it up, but it'll definitely be enjoyable. I have a good amount of solo survival stuff I can upload. I have a good amount of solo raids, but I don't want to, reveal all of my cards just yet. So I just wanted to give a very brief but outside of the box from a new player's perspective of their review on Rust. So once again, thank you all so much for watching this. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. My name is Zanezy. Like, sub, comment, do what you gotta do, and I'll see you all later.